came into the room and she's like, look at my phone. And then I couldn't see it, so I had to look at mine. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, but I can't bet against Tom Brady. I have the Bucs winning 31-27 and Tom Brady going to his 10th championship.
Aaron Rodgers and his people were like, they listened to our episode and they said, hold our cheesehead or coat.
Donovan Mitchell, who right now looks to be a superstar.
Just amazing. And I don't care what the Red Sox got for trading Mookie Betts and David Price. The Dodgers, in my opinion, win it. I don't have to see what players they gave up.
Yeah, that's not just the Chiefs. That's Andy Reid. He knows the defenses so well because he's such a great offensive mind. That
well, you said you can't bet against Tom Brady, and as a Cowboys fan and what I just did last weekend, I am not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers.
It was a great series. Game 4 was one of the best games I've ever watched in my entire life.
It just goes to show the offense for the Dallas Stars could not keep up. And when the defense needed to step up, the Lightning's offense just overpowered them.
Chris Paul is one of the most underrated players of all time. He's been the best player wherever he goes, and that includes with the Rockets. Yeah, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's all I can really say. There's 2 of the top 5 players in the league, and they are very, very good.
Yeah, and I really think the Clippers' chance to win the championship was last year, and they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets.
Hello, I'm Taylor Hearn, and you listen to the Outsiders' Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our September 19th MLB Opinions of the Week. Let's just start with it's been 10 years, close to 10 years since the Rangers and Cardinals 2011 World Series game. And the Cardinals are still finding a way to torture me as they're 10-5. They're in 10-game winning streak because I called them out. That they would not make the playoffs.
They're 13-5 since that happened. That was my bad. I told you 10-5 before.
Okay.
They're 13-5 with a 10-game win streak.
They have a 10-game win streak. I was feeling really good when they didn't start well, and now they're on a 10-game win streak. So Austin has given them the name Firebirds, and I am not going to be happy if they make the playoffs. And then if the Yankees somehow miss the playoffs, I win. I'm gonna be so mad with you. I like when we do because that hurts my predictions. The way too early predictions, which the Rays better carry me in that, and then so it's not looking. And then is the NL set? I'm gonna say no because I have hope in the Cincinnati Reds, who even though they've lost 7 games and won 3 in their last 10 games, I believe in them because I have to, because I'm not losing. I can't lose.
You're on such a good run. You beat me in the NHL and NBA. No, I destroyed you in the NBA, but you beat me in what? You beat me in NHL playoffs and
I think no, we didn't. What did I do?
Oh, you beat me in the NHL expansion draft. That's what
yeah, I did. I did win that.
Yes.
So I was on a good streak.
Yeah. The Cardinals started off 3-5 right after your prediction. Wow. Maybe Kevin's right. Maybe they are out. And then they said, no, we're going to win 10 straight after that. Now they're 13-5 in their last 18 games and are looking like one of the best teams. Remember when we had the number 1 in our our power ranking video? Remember that a long time ago?
We both alternated between Giants and Cardinals in all those videos.
Yeah,
we've had this exact same conversation. But the Rangers have some great prospects right now, especially Taylor Hearn and Glenn Otto. Well, Glenn Otto, AJ Alexy. Glenn Otto, of course, was a Yankee that we got in the Joey Gallo trade. So it's okay. We're getting there.
Do you know who starts tonight against Rangers? Corey Kluber, former Ranger for 1 inning.
Yeah, and then he hit the Rangers when he played for the Yankees earlier this year.
Yeah, he loves the Rangers. He played for 1 inning. And
we gave up Emmanuel Clase in that trade. Gosh. Josh Daniels. Not Josh John Daniels.
Yeah.
I can also get mad at Josh Daniels, but it's so But you and I were talking. Padres are out of it.
Way too hard of a schedule.
They have 5 games. They're 5
You
games out.
saw the fight that they had, right?
I've heard about it, and that because Tatis was arguing about a call, was about to get thrown out, so the manager came out, and then he got thrown out, and then Machado said, "Tatis, calm down." And so, and they're a team that has put so much stress on us themselves, and that's because of AJ Preller going after big names, which is a conversation we've had about, and it's a very quotable conversation because you talk about soap and I talked about toilet paper.
Yeah. This really is a team that put a lot of pressure on themselves, and they're not turning into diamonds. The team that put a lot of pressure on themselves early was the Giants, and they still are that team. They even got passed by the Dodgers, and the Giants were like, no, we're better than the Dodgers, and now the Giants have passed them again. Many people after the Dodgers passed the Giants, they were like, well, now we see the Giants aren't really all that. No, they are. They are. They are that good. After Kevin Gosman's walk-off sac fly, that was so fun against the Braves. Pinch hit pitcher walk-off. You don't see that every day. But I think the NL is set. I don't think anything changes, and these are the playoffs. Now for the AL, things are getting feisty. Seattle won both of their first 2 games in that series against the Athletics, and they're making their run. They're only 3 games out. So are the Athletics, if the Athletics want to turn it around. But the Yankees are only a half game out of Toronto. Toronto falters at all. And the Yankees have played one more game than the Toronto Blue Jays. So if Toronto loses that one game that they have extra, they'll be tied. But, like I said, the Yankees control their own destiny. So do Toronto, so does Boston. The Yankees play 3 games against Toronto. If they sweep Toronto, if the Yankees don't lose, they are clear cut in the playoffs. And there's nothing any team can do about it besides Boston, Toronto, and beat them. Your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I'm going to talk to you about Toronto because they have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and I believe he's close to the Triple Crown. That's what I heard. But so he has, in this scenario, he has to get the Triple Crown, and the Blue Jays have to make the playoffs.
I still don't think he gets MVP.
I kind of want to give it to him.
I don't want to give it to him because when a pitcher hits 45 homers, I think that entitles him MVP.
But like they don't make the playoffs. Like if the Angels, and they're not even close.
Ohtani isn't the reason they're not in the playoffs, though. This isn't a league like basketball. Trout has won infinitely many MVPs, and he's only made the playoffs twice. Or only once, maybe. I don't know. He's made it like once or twice. And it doesn't really matter because baseball is. I know people say that football is the most team sport because you have 22 guys on the field at a time. But honestly, baseball is the most team sport because you have 25 guys on the team on your roster, and you have to have a really good pitching staff, or at least a capable pitching staff, in a really good position, and they have to be good at offense and defense if you're a hitter. Everything has to go right. Your team just has to be great all around. In football, if you have a great Patrick Mahomes level quarterback, he can carry you a little bit. He can bring your team. In football, your team can be carried by a good group of guys. But even if you have a great offense, if your pitching staff is terrible, you cannot make the playoffs, no matter how good those guys are hitting. It can't happen. Mike Trout, if he was in any other sport, could carry his team to a championship, let alone the playoffs. But you can't do it in baseball. You can't carry a team, in my opinion. You can't.
It's very true.
I saw this joke after they were showing Vlad Guerrero's. They were showing Shohei's 45th homer, and people were like Vladdy can do this, but can he pitch? And then they're on like Vladdy's 46th homer. They're like, now pitch.
It's such because I understand your point for Otani. It's just
I
I don't.
can't not say Otani. I can't. I don't. People are numb to how good Otani is at both things. People don't understand how hard it is to be a pitcher and a hitter. There has never been somebody besides Babe Ruth who could pitch and hit at the same level on both sides. I don't know if Otani's a better hitter or a pitcher. Otani didn't have the greatest batting average, but he has great power. And for pitching, he doesn't strike as many guys out as maybe you'd want, but he has a really good ERA and he gets a lot of ground balls and stuff like that. I don't know. Babe Ruth in his prime pitching wise, I don't know if he was a better pitcher or better hitter. He almost threw a perfect game. He was an amazing pitcher who also helped the Boston Red Sox win their last championship until 2004. So, I mean, I don't know. I cannot say anything other than Otani. Otani is the answer.
It's
It
going to
has
be
to.
Otani. It's
It
going
has
to
to
be
be. It
Otani.
has to be Otani.
It's
I
just,
feel bad for Guerrero because he doesn't really have a chance because he can't pitch. It doesn't really matter if he wins the Triple Crown, in my opinion. He can't pitch. That's enough.
it's it's going to be Otani. It's just like I keep that's all when I see the stat of Vlad and then I see Otani, I'm like, Otani or Vlad. If so, we're just talking about I probably still defer to Otani. It's just I keep thinking maybe Vlad should have it. So that's we both know. I think it's going to be Otani. He's gonna win it.
It has to be. It has to be
That's
Otani.
how the MLB is gonna do it. That's how it's
It
gonna end
has to
up.
be. It
It's
has to be
just
Otani. It can't not be Otani. When have we seen a pitcher in the home run derby? It we never see it. We never see it. We never do. I feel like we can move on though.
yeah. It's just I'm trying to say I know it's going to be Otani. It's just I keep thinking of Vlad, and I do feel bad for him. But that's what I wanted to make. So yeah, I'll let you continue.
Yeah. I like I said, Boston, Toronto, and New York, all in control of their destiny. All can make the playoffs. And the only other thing that a team can do about it, like Seattle and Oakland, cannot control their own destiny. If one of those teams ahead of them or two teams ahead of them win all the games except for against each other type stuff, they can't get in. So they need some destruction to happen from the Twins, who play the Blue Jays four times, from the Orioles, who play a couple of those teams, from the Rays, who are already in the playoffs guaranteed, basically in the playoffs guaranteed. So technically, they're not guaranteed to make the playoffs, but we all assume they are. But now I want to hear your opinion. So New York versus Toronto. I believe that starts. Let me check. New York versus Toronto. That starts the 28th of September, and it goes to the 33 games then. But this Friday, Boston versus New York. So there's New York versus Toronto from the 28th through 30th, and then the 24th through 26th is Boston, New York. So in how many games? Like who wins how many games in the Boston New York series? We'll start with that one because it happened first. Who wins the series and then how many games? So how do you think it goes?
I'm gonna go Yankees 2-1, win that series. Now my turn. Do you want to give your thoughts on Yankees and Boston, or do you want me to say mine?
You
My
can say
thoughts
your
on.
Blue Jays.
Okay, I'm gonna say Blue Jays win 2-1 against the uh, Yankees because I think they're gonna make the playoffs, and then Boston falls out of the playoffs, and the Yankees make the playoffs. I am biased though
Wow.
because if the Yankees don't
Wow.
make the playoffs, and the Cardinals do make the playoffs, I am. Oh, it's so bad.
Wow. I'm honestly shocked that you have wow. Um wow.
I
Boston's
think
won
Vlad is
six
going to have
straight.
some good hits and some good
Boston
plays.
is 2 games ahead of the Yankees, a game and a half ahead of Toronto. Boston's won 6 straight, but you don't think they make it. And that would help my initial prediction a long time ago when I said that the Boston Red Sox had no chance, mainly because their team is, it's still a lot of injury prone. Chris Sale wasn't back yet until obviously he is now. But wow, I'm gonna say that the Yankees lose the series versus Boston 1-2, and then sweep Toronto. The reason why I think they sweep Toronto swept the Yankees in a 4-game series back earlier this month. I feel like the Yankees, they taste blood. They taste their chance to make the playoffs. And you know who doesn't have playoff experience? The entire Toronto roster. You know who has a lot of playoff experience? Not in the entire. I understand. You looked at me confused because obviously they have George Springer. So, or is it Correa? No, it's Springer. Yeah,
No,
Springer.
yeah, Springer.
Yeah. And they have Marcus Semien, who obviously made the wild card game with the Athletics last year. So they have some people. And obviously they have Hyunjin Ryu, who was with the Dodgers on some of their playoff runs. But the basis of the team, Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero, the basis of the team, Robbie Ray, doesn't really have much playoff experience. And everybody on the Yankees team has playoff experience. Every single person who plays has playoff experience, besides Joey Gallo. Thank
I
you. Oh,
think
wait, did he
I
play in
think Joey
2016?
played once. The Blue Jays series,
That was
2015.
2015. You think he played in
I
2015?
think he played in 2015.
I think he played. He may have played in the 2016 one versus the Blue Jays. Definitely not the 2015.
Oh, I think you're right.
I can't find playoffs.
No, yeah, he doesn't have the playoff games. Okay, because
Yeah,
I
I
thought
don't. I
that's who
don't
I
think he
immediately thought.
did. I don't
He
think he
didn't. He
did.
didn't.
Thank you, Rangers, for being terrible the last 4 years and not giving our man any playoff experience. But everybody mainly besides Joey Gallo, who starts, and I mean we still have guys who've won a championship. Anthony Rizzo, Brett Gardner, guys who start every day for us now. Still have a lot of playoff experience, and then we have former MVP, again, Anthony Rizzo, former 2017 MVP, Aaron Judge. I don't count Jose Altuve. We don't count him. But yeah, I mean, even with his stuff in 2017, the better player was Judge. I looked at all the stats. Judge is just better in almost like everything besides batting average, and I hate batting average as a stat. Batting average doesn't really show everything. The goal when you go up to bat, Kevin, the goal is to get on base. The goal isn't to get a hit. If we're being honest, the goal is to get on base. By any means necessary, get on base. And so I feel like on base percentage is probably the best stat. Slugging is still a little bit suspect to me because when you go slugging, it's more of like, well, if this guy hits triples 3 times less than a guy hits singles, well, that's the same OPS. Well, that doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, if you're on base all the time, I feel like that should mean a lot. But yeah, I think Judge was just a better player. But we're getting off track. I feel like the Yankees sweep the Blue Jays and end up making the playoffs while the Blue Jays miss and Boston makes it ahead of them. Uh, Seattle still has a chance. All these teams really do, especially if Tampa can make some rounds. I mean, the Yankees, their last series, 3 games against Rays. The Rays play again today versus Toronto, and then the Rays go. The Rays get no break. They have 10 straight days with a game, and today is their sixth straight out of those, or fifth straight, or is it 11 straight? Let me check. They play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so today's game 6 of 10 in a row. And then they play 4 games against the Twins, and then they get 1 day before they play the Yankees. So they have a tough stretch game wise. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm excited that I'm pretty sure I gained a point because you lost a point because the Cardinals are making the playoffs. So I'm excited for that. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you and I have some big, like you mentioned your comment, which has been a staple in our intros. And if the Red Sox do make it, that is going to enter the Hall of Fame. That'll be the first ever one in Hall of Fame. Actually, maybe like the third after I add in the soap and toilet paper comments into the Hall of Fame. But you and I have some big opinions riding on the end of the season. So it will be exciting. I'm excited for October. It was also nice seeing Shane Baz pitch for the Rays, as that just goes down as another terrible trade for the Pirates. But yeah, that concludes our episode. Thank you for listening. And by the way, make sure to follow the Twitter account as we had some news It's Outsiders Pod 21. So make sure to find that on Twitter. We also have an Instagram account under Outsiders Opinions. So just be on the lookout for that stuff as we announce all our episodes on Twitter. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.